Assalamu alaikum to the Muslims that are watching, and welcome to the non-Muslims that are watching. I basically wanted to go through this clip on ITV where Flips go through this lady. They are really interrogating this family that don't want their children to be subjected to transgenderism, yeah, in school at the age of like 5 or 6, and they are properly harassing them, yeah. And the thing is, we're supposed to live in a so-called, democracy and first world, and have freedom of speech, but it's not true. And you're going to see from this clip. For example, yeah, you're not allowed in this country, yeah, to disagree with homosexuality, yeah, or trans, phobiism, yeah. For example, if it's heard at work that you disagree with trans or homosexual, and so forth, you may lose your job, yeah. But so they claim that there's freedom of speech and freedom of thought, but there isn't. You can't even disagree with homosexuality, yeah. Even if you do it politely, even if you disagree, you can't disagree with homosexuality or transgenderism, yeah. Even if you do it politely, even if you don't shout, even if you don't get angry, even if you don't physically harm anyone, you're classed as transphobic, yeah, or homophobic, yeah. There is not a term for someone who disagrees with homosexuality, yeah, or transgenderism, yeah, without being homophobic or transphobic. I'm not homophobic or transphobic. A phobia is a fear, yeah. I don't fear trans people. I don't fear homosexual people. I just believe it's morally wrong, yeah. But there's not a term by default. If you disagree, you're homophobic. So you don't, if you disagree, you're transphobic. But anyway, let me just go through this clip and show you how they harass this couple. It's despicable and disgusting. Okay.
Well, I think the issue here is we're talking about primary school. We're talking about very young children. We're talking about children 5, 6, 7, 8. To us, that seems extremely young to start pushing a social agenda on such young children. It's different when you become an adult or a teenager. You can start working through those things. But at such a young age, we feel that the child is not able to make an informed decision. It's a major life-changing thing.
I think we've done a lot of transgender interviews on here. Met a lot of children who have decided that they are gender fluid, and a lot of parents who as well. The parents.
Hold on. You've met a lot of six-year-olds and 5-year-olds and kids, yeah, that have decided that they are gender fluid. That gender fluid means basically like they've changed from the gender they were, yeah? Wait a minute. If your kid watches if your kid watches Spider-Man and decides he wants to be Spider-Man and jump from building to building, climb up high buildings and so forth, what do you mean he decided? The kid cannot even get to school and back from school without a parent transporting them or walking them. What do you mean they decided? You've met lots of kids who have decided that they are 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds that have decided that they are trans fluid. What do you mean? Kids watch Batman, Superman and stuff. Say they decide to be Superman and want to jump, jump off a high wall or jump from building to building. You gonna let them? You gonna buy them a Spider-Man costume and take them to the top of a building or something? What are you talking about? They've decided. They can't even decide when they want to go toilet. These kids can't even go toilet, most of them on their own. They need assistance. This grown man is saying that 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds, they decided that they're trans fluid. And look, they got these beautiful names for these nasty terms. The kid does not have the faculties to know what's right and what's wrong. Crazy.
Well, I think the issue here is we're talking about primary school. We're talking about very young children. We're talking about children 5, 6, 7, 8. To us, that seems extremely young to start pushing a social agenda on such young children. It's different when you become an adult or a teenager. You can start working through those things. But at such a young age, we feel that a child is not able to make an informed decision. It's a major life-changing thing.
I think we've done a lot of transgender interviews on here. Met a lot of children who have decided that they are gender fluid, and a lot of parents who as well. The parents, I think, pretty much on the whole, I could say that never pushed their children into this. It was the child's choice to help them. It was the child that had the issue. That they felt.
If a child decides he wants to be a car, or a tree, or a monkey, or a wall, or an apple, you don't take it seriously. Am I going crazy? I'm not going crazy. I can't believe this is on daytime television, and he's attacking this man for having common sense and doing the right thing.
I want to do this for me.
Yes. I think we would say that, children at that young who have a confusion about which gender they are, that they need that support. We have compassion and love about these families and the families. This has been a very painful thing because we are friends with these people. We love the school, and we do assemblies. We're very involved, but we see the effect of this on there, and we just felt that the process that happened is not right. It was just like pushed. This is going to happen. One day they just turn up a boy wearing a girl's dress with a girl's name instead of having a proper consultation with that. And we just feel that child needs to be taken aside with medical advice. People who experience medical advice.
Yes, medical advice. If your kid came into school in a Spider-Man costume or a Batman costume or a Superman costume, you would think it's weird because boys and girls, they have a uniform that they have to wear to school in most schools. Yes, and look at him. Look at this guy. He's trying to make it seem like he's so progressive, like she's odd about medical advice. Like, what's wrong with a kid turning up, a boy turning up in a skirt, and a girl turning up in, well, not trousers because they let girls wear trousers in England and so forth. But the point is this, yes, of course. If a kid is used to, girls coming in a skirt and then a boy comes in a skirt, he's going to be confused. He's not going to understand what's happening. He's not going to be confused. And you're making them seem like they're in the wrong. Crazy, man.
Advice? Why medical advice? Why?
Needs to be taken aside with medical advice. People who experience
medical advice. Why medical advice? Why does a child who decides they're gender fluid need medical advice?
Well, under the Equality Act, apparently, it's at the age of 18 this starts, and you have to show they have been a transgender for 2 years and that sort of thing. But again, it comes down to it being a child. You see, a child of that so young can't make that informed decision. It's far too. And the statistic also apparently is that 98%, I believe, of people who say that they felt like that when they were younger turn out not to be like that at all. And I think it could be damaging not only to the transgender, but all the other kids.
Can I make
98%, and I've heard that before. I even watched this. 98% of people who change from man to woman or woman to a man when they're young, they regret it. Especially the ones that have irrevocable surgery, so they remove their private parts or change their private parts and so forth. 98%, not 50%, not 15%, not quarter, not half, 98%. And now she's gonna come with her rubbish to try and to agree.
Say that they felt like that when they were younger turn out not to be like that at all. And I think it could be damaging not only to the transgender, but all the other kids.
Can I make, because obviously you made the decision to take both your children out and homeschool them because they were under a amount of stress, and I can understand that it might have been a shock that one day suddenly a boy comes in a dress and the name's changed, and without that understanding of what's happened, I can understand that might have been
the names change as well. What he's got, a kid has been coming in for years, yeah, as a certain name, yeah, and as a boy, and now the name has changed, and they're wearing the dress. Of course, the kids got there to be learning like maths and science and English and so forth, and now they've got to change. So imagine Monday he comes in as a boy. Tuesday he comes in as a she, yeah, in a skirt. Well, he has to keep on changing. The guy has to keep on changing. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this is actually happening in this country, and this guy's taking his kids out of the school because of this. You crazy, man. Loco. Majnoon.
98%, I believe, of people who say that they felt like that when they were younger turn out not to be like that at all. And I think it could be damaging not only to the transgender, but all the other kids.
Can I make, because obviously you'd made the decision to take both your children out and homeschool them because they were under a amount of stress, and I can understand that it might have been a shock that one day suddenly a boy comes in a dress and the names change, and without that understanding of what's happened, I can understand that might have been an unusual thing to happen. But is this not part of the understanding that by doing this there is greater understanding, and actually it could have been a chance to open up a conversation to educate, so it became more normal for
We don't want to open up. No, we don't want to open our kids up to confusion. What do you mean open them up to the real world? This is what you say. This is what you want. This is what you want the real world to be. Yeah. This is what you want the real world. So what if he comes in as if he comes in as a car or a tree and so forth? We have to adapt to that as well. If he says he's pretending to be a spider, we have to adapt to that as well. Yeah. So what you're saying is that he should have kept them in school, because this is going to be the new reality where there is no such thing as man, there's no such thing as a woman, there's no such thing as maybe humans anymore. I want to see, yeah, try this in college and try this in university. Are you gonna have changing rooms, yeah? When they do PE and stuff, are you gonna allow boys, yeah, who are at secondary school and college, yeah, and universities, yeah, to if a man past puberty or a boy past puberty wants to use the female changing rooms, yeah, he just decides, yeah, that he wants to use, the female changing rooms, yeah, are you gonna allow that? If a guy comes into school a couple days a week and he says, I want to change with the girls because he wants to check out the girls and stuff, because you're not gonna know his intentions because he wants to check out the girls and stuff. In secondary school and college, are you gonna allow a young boy who's showing the signs of puberty, yeah, and hasn't had any medical problems, you can allow him to change in the women's changing rooms? This is going to be crazy, man.
the understanding that by doing this there is greater understanding, and actually it could have been a chance to open up a conversation to educate, so it became more normal so it wasn't a stressful situation.
I totally agree with you, but we felt that it shouldn't be done in the environment of the school. It should be done out of the school. These things have to be dealt with out.
They are at school, aren't they? I guess that's the thing.
It's a major part of that child's life. It's where they spend most of their time.
But then you're imposing that on all the other children.
Why is it an imposition?
Because you got one or two. It's not even the children's fault. I was going to say freaks, yeah, but the children ain't freaks. The children are just being children. Sometimes they want to be Batman, sometimes they want to be Robin, sometimes they want to be Superman, yeah. But you parents and adults, you're making the class change for these few kids that are being kids and just like using their imagination and have to be disciplined. That now you're at school, now you have to learn and you have to study and so forth. And when you go home and play at playtime, in the playroom, you can be Spider-Man and whatever. This is crazy. Crazy.
Because you are asking them, they know that one
stressful situation.
I totally agree with you, but we felt that it shouldn't be done in the environment of the school. It should be done out of the school. These things have to be dealt with out of the
They
school.
are at school, aren't they? I guess that's the
It's
thing.
a major part of that child's life. It's where they spend most of their time.
But then you're imposing that on all the other children.
Why is it an imposition?
Because you are asking them. They know that one day they know that child, that they're the friends, they're a boy, this is their name, and now you're saying, now you have to now call them he, she, change the pronoun, change the name.
There'll be a lot of people who are.
Yeah, Philip, that's the definition of imposing. There's a normal class, and for years they've been coming in as a boy in trousers and so forth. Then what happens is he's coming in as a girl, yeah, you know, in a skirt, yeah, and now the rest of the class have to, obey him, like have to respect him and accept him as a she and refer to him as a she. So you're imposing. Maybe you want to buy a dictionary and find out what the word imposing. Yes, you're imposing it on a class, and you know that very well.
Is their name, and now you're saying, now you have to now call them he, she, change the pronoun, change the name.
There'll be a lot of people who are saying that children adapt remarkably well, and if things are explained to them, then they understand very clearly. It's not an issue with the children; it's an issue with you. You're the ones that have the.
Get out of here! Get out of the bloody studio! You bloody lost your mind.
Not the children. And if things are explained to them, then they understand very clearly. It's not an issue with the children. It's an issue with you. You're the ones that have the problem, not the children.
Well, how do you deal with a child then? Because one of the children comes sometimes as a boy, sometimes as a girl. So how do you address that? How do you address that every day?
Explain.
And then what about if there's a situation where that they're supposedly supposed to use the correct pronoun and they don't? Will the other children get chastised for that? It's a very social complex issue, and we just feel that for such young children, it's not right.
So what's the answer then? Because if this child that
The answer is tell them a kid and that they're a boy, yeah, and that you may feel these different things, yeah, but just like you feel like a spider, you can jump from building. We know you can't because you'll get hurt even if you fall off a small wall. You're not a woman, yeah. You don't submit to the child's imagination because it runs wild. I can't believe these two adults actually taking this seriously. Crazy. I guess they got to, or they're gonna get sacked. But so what if you're gonna get
is transitioning or deciding to explore or being fluid or whatever they decide to say, if they're going through this in their life, to keep other parents and other children happy, should they just be hidden away, taken to a school where they can go and wear what they want and just be?
I think it's really.
Yeah, get all the trans kids and put them in a trans school. That's it. Get all them trans kids. It's not even about the kids because kids demand whatever they want. It's about the adults that are stupid enough to go along with this. Maybe we should put the adults, yeah, who agree with this and the kids all in one trans school, yeah, for mentally handicapped, adults, yeah, and for trans kids that want to live out their imaginations. Let them be boys, let boys be girls and girls be boys, boys be Spider-Man and girls be Catwoman and Superwoman and you all enjoy that circus, yeah, and we can have it in the middle of we can have it like, I don't know, on the edges of, I don't know, Dover or somewhere.
You've really got to understand something here. We're talking about children, and they are all special and unique.
And to explore or being fluid or whatever they decide to say, if they're going through this in their life, to keep other parents and other children happy, should they just be hidden away, taken to a school where they can go and wear what they want and just be?
I think we've really got to understand something here. We're talking about children, and they are all special and unique. And the parents, they want to do the best for their children.
Which is what that parent was doing.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they would say. That would be their argument.
Absolutely,
Yes,
they
yes.
would say that.
They
but
would say
we,
they
we
do.
personally felt that they probably received the wrong advice. I think also there's a great sort of media thing where they're trying to push this and that it's a good thing. But I think there's more to it. I think there's we need to look at the scientific evidence behind it and whether this is actually healthy. And as I said, the statistic that
I don't
most
think media's pushing it. I think media's recognising it for the first time.
It's the same sort of situation, where as a child who years ago would have been terrified, chastised for coming out as gay, and maybe would.
Yeah, and it's wrong. Gay is wrong as well. Homosexuality, transgenderism, it's all wrong. It's all immoral. It's all wrong. But this society has become secular, so anything goes. It's immoral as well. Homosexuality is immoral, and trans thingy is immoral as well. Both of them are wrong. But people don't believe in anything nowadays. Soon they're going to be trans people having relationships, trans adults, quote unquote, who are a woman, became a man, or a man who became a woman, begin having relationships with people, and they're not even going to tell people I used to be a woman and so forth. And then maybe when they're having an argument, they're going to say, by the way, I was a man or I was a woman and so forth, which is a big liberty because that person has a right to know, But this, alhamdulillah for Islam, because this is what I'm trying to say, is that you can call us Muslims backwards, you can call us prehistoric, you can call us caveman-minded, whatever, this, that, but at least we still have morals. At least we still have morals. And when everyone else, the Jews, the Christians, and, quote-unquote spiritual people who only use God like a spare tire when, someone in a house gets cancer, or they're in a car crash and they pray to God, and then when their life gets sorted out, they go back to just raving and smoking and drinking and stuff. At least with Islam, we may not be perfect as Muslims, but at least our religion, our way of life, what was wrong 1400 years ago was wrong then and is wrong today, and we ain't budged. Alhamdulillah, man. This is just a sign. This guy, look at this guy. This guy, he's just trying to do the thing right, raise his kid. He knows within himself that it's wrong what's happening to his kid. He's gone on TV and he's been subjective to being made to look like the wrong person, the awkward person, the evil person, when what he's doing is right. They're making him feel like he's bad because he doesn't want his kid to be confused, and he wants his kid just to learn the basics at school. He wants his kids to get educated at school, and because he doesn't want, all these moral issues to be played with his child, then he comes on this program, ITV, and they're gunning him. They are literally verbally assaulting him and making him feel like he's done something wrong. He's done nothing wrong. And they don't even have any science to back up what they're saying. The only one that brought any scientific evidence to this was him. And I'm not saying science is everything, but they're just saying, look at this. This is harassment, man.
Would you have been part of those parents who said
whether this is actually healthy? And as I said, the statistic that
I don't think media's pushing it. I think media's recognising it for the first time.
It's the same sort of situation, where as a child who years ago would have been terrified, chastised for coming out as gay, and maybe would you have been part of those parents who said, well, not in my school, because things move on, people change.
Well,
attitudes change. We're less medieval now than we used to be.
You have no morals. That's what it is. You become so secular that there is no right and wrong. I would have been one of those parents. Obviously you can explain to the kid with wisdom and this, that, and so forth. But how can a 6-year-old say I'm homosexual anyway? How can a 6 or 5-year-old say they're homosexual anyway? How is that possible? How's a kid 6-year-old can say I like? Just complete and utter rubbish.
Change, and actually, you've got a point there. I think society.
People change. Well, attitudes change. We're less medieval now than we used to be.
Attitudes do change, and actually, you've got a point there.
Didn't Philip Schofield? Wait a minute. Did you cheat on your wife? Wait a minute. Didn't you cheat on your wife and you were married for nearly a decade and you had another partner and this, that, and that, but you're gay? Oh, it's making sense now. Oh, you're gay yourself, of course you're homosexual, which is immorally wrong, and trans is immorally wrong, so obviously you're going to defend him. The jigsaw pieces come together.
Yes, and that it's a good thing, but I think there's more to it. I think there's, we need to look at the scientific evidence behind it, and whether this is actually healthy. And as I said, the statistic that
I don't think media's pushing it. I think media's recognising it for the first time.
It's the same sort of situation. Where as a child who years ago would have been terrified, chastised for coming out as gay, and maybe would you have been part of those parents who said, "Well, not in my school," because things move on, people change. Well, attitudes change. We're less medieval now than we used to be.
Attitudes do change, and actually, you've got a point there. I think society, is going to have to decide. I think there are many parents throughout the reason we stood up, want to make a stand for this, we believe there's many parents throughout the whole UK who would be concerned with that. But at the end of the day, it looks like, well, society is going to decide how schools are going to be. But I just want to make a point that how far is it going to go? Are we going to allow children then to come dressed as animals? Or there's things called, this is extreme, I agree. For example,
Are we going to let kids come as animal? Bang. Are we going to let them come as Batman and Robin? Bang. Are we going to let them come as Superman and Spider-Man? Exactly. Yeah, look at his face. Yeah. Well, let's see how you get out of this one.
How schools are going to be, but I just want to make a point that how far is it going to go? Are we going to allow children then to come dressed as animals? Or there's things called, this is extreme, I agree. For example, species dysphoria. Are we going to then, allow children then to come in because they believe they're an animal side? I think, how is that going to affect the other children? I think we've got to think about the whole picture. We've got to think about all the other kids.
See how they cut him? How'd you cut him in the middle of a sentence? How'd you cut him in the middle of a sentence? Because he's making points, yeah, and there was no comeback, for Phillips. What, you just end the video? Cut, yeah. Like how'd you cut him in the middle of a point? How'd you cut him while he's making a point? What? Because Philip can't answer it, so you just cut in Philip's earpiece. Philip, there's no answer. It's true. If they can come in, if a boy can come in as a girl, then they can come in as different species. We got no answer for this. Let's go to a break. Philip, we're gonna go to a break. We're gonna cut him off in mid-sentence. Jokers. Oh, Mr. Man. Anyway, guys, that's it. If you find this beneficial, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because if you subscribe and you don't hit the top bell, there's 3 bells. Hit the top one, you won't know when there's more videos. Leave your comments in a section. Leave your views in the comment section where what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, and I'll answer your questions in the comments and so forth. Thanks for watching. Jazakallah khairan. Welcome to thanks to the non-Muslims that watched, and I'll see you in the next video, inshallah, God willing. Take care.